Side Channel's John Owen's gig. Was it good? Yeah. I really wanted to be here actually, but I had to be interstate unfortunately, but I've heard good feedback. Today we're really lucky in the lead up to Mother's Day. I was thinking about who one of the most beautiful mothers I know around is that could potentially talk today. And Therese Kerr sprung to mind, mum to supermodel Miranda Kerr. And she has done an enormous amount of research around toxins, environmental toxins, and spent, 18 years or so? Yeah, with her head deep in research. And so it's going to be a quick presentation as always, but she's going to share with us what she does know here today. And I thought just while people are getting the rest of their lunch, I would read a couple of these statistics that I think
are fairly shocking. And you want to get a couple of photos?
So did you know that semen count in men, according to a systemic review in 2017, has dropped by 59% since the 1980s? So we're assuming that a lot of this is due to the extra toxins that we're being exposed to. Second statistic, 70% of women have some kind of hormone-related disorder, either endometriosis, Hashimoto's, fibroids, PCOS, infertility, breast, ovarian, testicular, which is not for women obviously, and prostate cancer, both men on the end there. And cancer has increased by approximately 33% between 2005 and 2015. 1 in 2 people will have cancer by the age of 85. So they're all very sobering statistics, and I'm not going to speak any further because I think we want as much time as possible to hear what Therese has to say about it. And once she's finished her presentation, we'll come back for some Q&A. So if you've got any questions throughout her presentation, just keep them in the front of your mind and we'll sort them out afterwards. So Therese, let's give her a nice big warm round of applause.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I don't have a clicker. I forgot my clicker. Are you okay to press the, be my little clicker for me? Thank you and welcome. I'm really excited that you're here. I absolutely live and breathe health and wellness. I just want to share my story, first of all. I had tumours in my spleen in 2001 and had to have my spleen removed. Prior to that, I had endometriosis and Hashimoto's. And so by the age of 36, I had tumours in my spleen, and that was my aha moment. That was my turning point. And sadly, most of us wait until we have that. If you can click. So most people make a health choice when they have to, sadly. And I implore you not to do that, not to wait. We are surrounded by environmental toxins. Everything that I share is evidence-based research. I work with professors not just here in Australia, but around the world. I usually talk for 3 hours, not 10 to 15 minutes, so you're getting a very succinct version of what I share today. So how does the cosmetics, now I specialise in all chemicals, including agricultural chemicals, chemicals in our food, as well as chemicals in our cosmetics. Why do I specialise in cosmetics though? It's because no one else is doing it. I want to share with you how the cosmetics industry works. So we have a regulatory body here in Australia called NICNAS. NICNAS, basically, it follows the rules of the American cosmetics industry. So how does the American cosmetics industry work? It has set up its own cosmetic ingredient review panel to determine whether or not the chemicals they themselves use in their own products are safe. So there's a major conflict of interest in relation to the cosmetics industry controlling and determining what chemicals are safe in cosmetics. I also want to share that chemicals are used predominantly in cosmetics, and when I say cosmetics, I mean skin, hair, beauty, personal, baby, oral care, men's care, perfume, cologne, even makeup. When I say that, what chemicals are used in cosmetics on the basis they're safe until proven otherwise in every country other than in Europe. So Europe has set up a REACH program where they no longer allow chemicals to be used in cosmetics on the basis they're safe. They have to be safe before they're ever allowed to use. And they have banned over 1,330 chemicals that we still use widely in the rest of the world that they've banned as highly toxic. I also, just going back again, sorry, Eloise. Also, there's no pre-market or health testing done on any cosmetic product before it's released onto the market. How do I know that? I create certified organic skincare. Why do I create certified organic skincare? And my beautiful daughter, we create it as a family because that's your guarantee that products are healthy and safe. Next, please. These are classic examples of chemicals used in our everyday products. Now this screenshot is from a chemical maze app, and I encourage you to download and use an app called the Chemical Maze, and there's another one called Think Dirty. The Chemical Maze, you enter a chemical and it tells you what it's derived from, what it's found in, and the effects on the human body. So for example, coal tar in hair dye, recognised carcinogen, suspected mutagen, so it causes cells to mutate. We also have lead acetate, which is restricted and banned in Canada, EU and the USA. Never assessed for safety. Remember I said so many chemicals are never assessed for safety in cosmetics. This is a classic example. It's persistent and bioaccumulative in wildlife. It's a recognised carcinogen, reproductive and developmental toxin, suspected cardiovascular, liver, kidney and neurotoxin. Next please. Deodorant. Now a lot of people wear conventional deodorant. Well, let me share with you that aluminium in deodorant has never been assessed for safety in cosmetics. And then we have another chemical called BHT, also in your concealer, eyeliner, foundation, lipstick, moisturizer, perfume and sunscreen. And it is a particularly nasty chemical as well. Suspected respiratory, liver, kidney, sense organ, immuno and neurotoxin. Next. Sodium fluoride in your toothpaste. I get into trouble all the time from the media for speaking out against sodium fluoride. Does anyone know what sodium fluoride is actually, how it's made or what it comes from? It's a waste product of the fertilizer industry. The gases that come off the manufacturing of fertilizer are too toxic to allow in the air, so they capture them with water. That's your sodium fluoride. Known to cause bone cancer, bone fractures, dental fluorosis. The white that we're seeing on people's teeth is an over-ingestion of fluoride, clinically known as dental fluorosis. Never assessed for safety for you to put in your mouth, where your mucous membranes will absorb up to 100%. Known to cause osteomalacia, suspected cardiovascular, respiratory, and so on. This particular chemical, triclosan, also found in many other products. Well, it's a registered pesticide. What the hell is it doing in your toothpaste? It is a preserving system. Next. How about sunscreen? Now, I'm not saying don't use sunscreen. I'm saying use a healthy sunscreen. There are healthy sunscreens out there. Sadly, most of them aren't. And we know what we know, we know what we don't know, but we don't know what we don't know. And I didn't know any of this when I was young, and I then ended up with tumours in my spleen. So let me share with you a couple of chemicals in our everyday sunscreen. Octocrylene. It produces damaging reactive oxygen species upon exposure to sunlight, which means it produces free radicals that cause cancer when you're in the sun. Never assessed for safety in cosmetics, and it's persistent and bioaccumulative in wildlife. We also have homosalate, and it will cause the absorption of pesticides by more than 30% just by the mere fact that it's in all of these products, not just your sunscreen. Next. How about your anti-aging products? Well, let me tell you, most of your chemicals in your everyday skincare are petroleum-derived or waste products of the petroleum industry. Almost all will contain phthalates, which are endocrine hormone-disrupting chemicals, the most potent of all. And then we have parabens. You've heard of paraben-free and SLS-free? Well, the chemicals, what they don't tell you, the chemicals they've replaced the parabens with are even worse than the parabens. That's the same with BPA. When you see BPA-free, know that the BPS and the BPA, they've replaced the BPS and the BPF that they've replaced the BPA with is even worse than the BPA was in the first place. Next. Fragrance. Ladies and gentlemen, please look into the damage of fragrance, because I used to be a walking, talking perfume shop. Cologne and fragrance are some of the worst things you can put on your body. Dr. Carol Hungerford states the very thing a woman thinks makes her more feminine, smelling pretty, wearing perfume is the very thing that's costing her her femininity. Likewise with men, the very thing that men think, makes them smell lovely is costing them their masculinity, feminizing our men. Next. This may shock you. One of the fastest ways we detox as a woman is to have a baby through what is called maternal transfer. We dump our fat-soluble chemicals that are in our body onto our children in utero. And our babies are being born pre-polluted with, on average, thousands of chemicals in their little umbilical cords now at birth. Another way that we detox, and the only thing I recommend for any newborn baby or any baby, is to breastfeed, but our breast milk on average around the world contains 200 plus synthetic man-made chemicals. My goal personally is to educate and empower parents so they never expose their children to these chemicals. Next. Babies, I made the mistake at an event, and I do a lot of talks. I'm doing a talk in Manly tonight. If anyone wants to come along, you can come along as my guest. Professor Mark Cohen is there, and he is a medical doctor, a traditional Chinese medicine doctor in Australia. He's a real professor of wellness. I was at an event and I made the mistake of saying babies are born with 287 synthetic chemicals in their little umbilical cords, and he said, no, Therese, they're only ones they're tested for. So 100% they tested for, they found. This was a report by the Body Burden, the Environmental Working Group, Pollution in Newborns. So know that our babies, and unfortunately, babies do not have the detoxification ability of an adult until roughly age 8. Their immune system isn't developed, their nervous system isn't developed, their endocrine system isn't developed. Next. Only 10 chemicals have ever been banned in cosmetics over the last 40 years in the USA. In contrast with Europe, they have now banned over 1,330 chemicals that they consider highly toxic and dangerous to human health that we use every day. Next. Now this is a classic example of chemicals being used in cosmetics on the basis they're safe until proven otherwise. Asbestos was used in baby powder. Did you know that? How scary is that? The floodgates were opened to sue this company in 2016 by an ovarian cancer patient who successfully sued Johnson & Johnson. Likewise, Monsanto being now sued in relation to cancer-causing Roundup. And I say, bring it on. These companies need to be accountable for what they are putting in their products. Next. This is a review that Eloise referred to, the systemic review. Semen count in men has declined by 59% between 73 and 2011. Next. Endocrine hormone-related disorders. 70% of women have some hormone-related disorder. 1 in 7 women are considered infertile. 1 in 6 couples are currently experiencing infertility challenges. Males account for almost half of all fertility cases. And young girls are going through puberty, average age 8 to 10. Now the problem with that is the earlier you go through puberty, the greater your chance of breast cancer. The World Health Organization report of 2012, back in 2012, they said that semen count had dropped by 40%. The review states now 59%. And genital malformation through maternal transfer has increased by 400%. That's where the estrogen dominance from the mum during pregnancy passes down to the children, and the genitals in little boys don't form properly. A 400% increase, a greater increase than that of cancer. Next. I'm trying to hurry so I can get through this. Our skin, why is it important what you put on your skin? Your skin absorbs on average 60% of everything you put on it. Some instances it will absorb 100 or up to 100. What are those instances? When we use fragrance or cologne or products that contain the word fragrance. When we put anything in our mouth, under our arms, in our intimate areas, our body will absorb up to 100%. And our skin absorbs chemicals so much faster, up to 10 times faster than by way of eating a food with a chemical, because our skin doesn't have the digestive enzymes or purification process of the liver to break those chemicals down. So they go straight into our bloodstream. Next. Many illnesses are linked to environmental factors. Our genes are the gun, the environmental factors are the trigger. Now genes play a very minor percentage in the rate of illness or the cause of illness. It's the environmental factors that cause the genes to express. And actually, believe it or not, it's a good thing that most illnesses cause through environmental factors. Why? Because they're things you can control. You can control what you're using in your home, what you're putting on your body, what you're putting in your body as such. Next. Why detox? Detoxification in this day and age is not just a trend. Next one, please. It's a way of life. We are subjecting our bodies to so much toxicity that we in turn need to remove that toxicity from our life. I've spent 18 years researching this, and my goal is to help young women and men remove the hormone-related chemicals, hormone-disrupting chemicals from their life. I think my time's up, isn't it, my dear? Is it?
You've got a little bit more to
Have I really? That's the quickest I think I've ever spoken. So yes, more and more we need to detox. Why do we need to detox? Is to remove these chemicals. And it's very exciting and I've never ever recommended a detox program in my life, and we have one, but I'm not going, this isn't about a sales talk. This is really about to educate and empower you to have you be able to make informed choices. And I say to people, take from this what serves you, leave what doesn't, but at least be informed. I live and breathe this. If you want, if anyone wants to come to our event tonight, there's going to be lots of media, Wellbeing Magazine, lots of media there tonight. We'd love you to come along. It's in Manly.
Thank you, Therese. So we've got about 10 minutes. If anybody's got any questions, that was a lot of information in a very short period of time. While you're thinking about whether you have anything specific you'd like to ask, I'd just like to kind of focus in on detox for a minute, because I think a lot of people, when they're thinking about detox, think about food alone, and a talk like this makes you realise just how many channels there are for actually, you know, toxifying or becoming toxic in your own system. So where do you think the best place to start is for people who want to detox? And maybe it's not that they want to go the full hog and give up everything that they're eating and drinking, but you know, some of the things throughout their life that they can do.
So it's not just, detox is not just about lemon juice or fruit juicing. You really need to have, when you detox, especially if you're removing endocrine related or endocrine EDCs or hormone disrupting chemicals from your body, you need to support your body with incredible nutrients. And I've never ever recommended, as I said, never recommended a detox before, because I've never found one. In fact, I've spent the last 5 years working with a naturopath and a herbalist to create a detox program. I've done 9 different trials and I still haven't come up with it myself. But I've come across another one that's absolutely amazing. And why we need to detox is because our bodies have become so toxic. And one thing I want to share, and this is really quite scary as well, because there's a class of chemical called obesogen. So there's 8 major classes of chemicals in our everyday products, but there's one in particular called obesogens that cause our fat cells to multiply. They reprogram our cells to become fat cells, and they cause us to put on and maintain weight. Our bodies have become so toxic that no longer can it effectively remove the extent of chemicals, the chemical burden we place upon our body every day. So what our body does to protect us, it will not allow those fat-soluble chemicals. Now there's water-soluble and fat-soluble, but it will not allow the fat-soluble chemicals to be stored in our vital organs, our heart, our lungs, our liver, our kidneys, our spleen, our fat-laden brain. It pushes those chemicals to the outer surface, just under the skin, as far away from your vital organs as possible, where if you don't have enough fat to store these fat-soluble chemicals in, your body will purposely put on more fat. And Professor Mark Cohen shares this all the time. So you want to release fat-soluble chemicals are really hard to remove from the body. You need to have specialist ingredients to be able to remove those, but you need to support your body with high nutrition antioxidants, and in particular support your colon. And you need to be able to remove other chemicals and toxicants from your body by way of your colon, your skin, your kidneys and your liver.
So what I'm hearing from that is one of the most important things to do if you want to flush your system out is actually to make sure you're getting enough nutrients, high-grade nutrients. Can you just talk a minute about the difference between normal, everyday, whole foods and organic products?
Yeah, I live and breathe organic. Since I had tumours in my spleen, I'm an organic industry leader as such. I was voted one of the top 50 most influential women in Australia because of my work regarding organic. So a company, sadly, in this country can call something organic if it has one natural ingredient, but it may contain thousands of chemicals and still be classed as organic. That's why certified organic is so important. I'm an ambassador, as I said, for Australian certified organic. The research, and a lot of conventional people will argue, or conventional companies will argue, that organic isn't any better, or certified organic isn't any better than conventional. It is. There was a study done in Gwangana retreat where Professor Mark Cohen took 13 participants. He fed them an 80% diet for 7 days of certified organic. The pesticide level within their body dropped by 90% just by eating certified organic. Now that's totally possible, and I recommend that you adopt those practices. There's the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. That's put out by the EWG, and that's a great starting point to learn what is good to eat that isn't certified and what you should never eat. So apples are one of the most sprayed foods, celery, berries, they're the most sprayed foods that we can eat.
Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, they are.
Not going to go organic. Those are the most toxic out of,
Yeah, exactly. So avoid them or use them as organic. but also you want to make sure, so our bodies, even the chemical toxicity is impacting our body's ability to extract the nutrients within our body now. So our liver's main role isn't to detoxify, it's actually to extract nutrients from our food, but our body is so taxed in relation to the number of chemicals and toxicants we're placing upon it that our body isn't able to extract those nutrients as effectively as it should.
Does anybody in the audience have a question for Therese?
Don't be shy. Yes?
You spoke about perfume earlier and recommending not wearing it. Would you recommend that spraying on your clothes, or just a no-no, not having it around at all?
Unfortunately, no, I don't recommend spraying it on your clothes because it's respiratory toxin. Most perfumes are carcinogenic, endocrine disrupting, immunotoxins, toxic to your respiratory system, the immune system as such. Now, what I do is use essential oils, or we have, through a platform that I'm involved in, we have beautiful, healthy perfumes that are beautiful and they're safe and they don't hinder your health. They actually support your health. So there are healthy options.
My question was around your credentials. Obviously, you had your aha moment and you're clearly a concerned consumer. Do you also have a degree in pharmaceuticals or anything along those lines?
No, thankfully I don't have a degree in pharmaceuticals. I have been researching myself, and why I've studied nutrition, but I've never ever become a nutritionist or that, because my voice would be shut. I would be shut down. I wouldn't be able to share what I need to share. I basically work with professors and I share information. Professor Mark Cohen is my #1 mentor. Dr. Sarah Lance, who took newborn babies' umbilical cords here in Australia, in Queensland, and found over 200 chemicals. She's one of my mentors. Nicole Biljema, other incredible professors from around the world as well.
And you've had your organic skincare range that's been very, very popular. How long have you had that for?
So we have Cora. So as a family, we have Cora Organics by Miranda, which is really a pharmaceutical and a health food store range. And then we have Divine. When I was the CEO of Cora, I said to Miranda, we can't stop at skincare. We need to do certified organic deodorants and hand sanitizers. They are so toxic. Please don't use those. And I said we need to do spa grade quality skincare. And that's when we released Divine in 2015. And that's really highly efficacious. Gone are the days where certified organic wasn't efficacious. Like it didn't, but the research that we now have, like we have Vita A-like, which is a retinol A alternative. We have Phycojuvenine G, which reactivates the aging stem cells within our skin. These are all incredible technology in the organic space, and it's very exciting to be in this space at this time.
Any other questions?
Don't be scared. I don't bite, I promise.
All right, well, Miranda.
My gorgeous daughter is having another baby.
I was actually just thinking about that. Yeah, how is she? Because you've just come back from LA.
Yeah.
When is she due with her third?
So towards the end of the year, but it's my other grandson's beautiful first birthday today. So I have an 8-year-old, and I've just seen all the photos of our gorgeous little heart over in America, and it's his birthday, so I'm missing that. And then our other one is due later on this year, so very exciting.
Yeah, excellent. And just to finish off, so this is obviously something that you're very passionate about, and something that you subscribe to and you live. And would you say that you have the 80-20 rule when it comes to what you're doing every day, or is it something, because I get that you can hear a talk like this and go, oh my God, I'm going to die tomorrow because of everything I've been doing, but is this something that there is a little bit of leeway around?
Oh, totally. I had tumours in my spleen, so I'm extra careful because of that. But I still go out for dinner. I'll still have coffee. I'll have it with almond milk as such. I had a chai earlier, and I always check the sugar content because I don't want to put a lot of sugar in my body. But it's a proactive approach to living. I believe we need to become proactive participants in our own health, and that's why, if I'm running detoxes, I've got a detox that from May I started. I'm doing one in June, and I'd love to do one as a corporate wellness event with yourselves as such, if that's something anyone is interested in. Clinically proven, triple blind studied So, and that's the only one to actually do when you have efficacious results and ingredients included in the detox at the efficacious level as per the trial. That is so important. So I'd love to work with you to do that with, you know, whoever wants to do it.
Let's explore. Who would like to do a detox together?
Yeah. I promise you. I promise you I had a lady who contacted me yesterday. She's been on the detox and she's lost 3 kilos in a week, which not everybody's different. I'm not promising you that. I had another lady who had severe eczema on her hand. She's been on our product. I've got the photos I can show you. She's been on our detox for only 6 days and her eczema is cleared. So it's about impacting your gut, improving your digestion, balancing your hormones, increasing collagen to have your skin. That's one of the first things you notice with this detox as well. Your skin glows and hydrates, and it's about supporting your body during the entire process, not just detoxing and going through hell. You know, most detox tastes like pond scum. This doesn't, I promise. We've got some testers there for you to try if you'd like to. It's actually lovely because it's full of beautiful antioxidants.
Beautiful. So we're just about at capacity for time. But given the interest, what I might do is get some information from Therese and just send it out to everybody that's attended this event today. And then, you know, I think it's great if you're going to embark on something like this, if you do it with some group support. So we might be able to do some lunchtime catch-up sessions or something over. How long is the detox for?
It's 21 days. We can condense it to 21 days. I have a full meal plan as well and a 90-page ebook that walks you through the entire, what the ingredients are, what they're doing to support your body, what you will go through during the actual detox as well. And yeah, it's really just a very interactive group. I've got a group of people on Facebook as part of our, and they're just sharing recipes and they're sharing their responses. I've had people get really bad headaches and I've walked them through that, you know,
So I'll send some information out to everybody here after the event, but I think thank you so much for coming, Therese. Really appreciate you sharing all your knowledge. And as somebody who's known you for a long time, very passionate, a lot of integrity, and you're doing great work. So thank you so much. So let's give Therese a round of applause.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to share what I'm so passionate about.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So